hills. This year, many little birds will leave their nests where this forest has been their home. The city of Ueda in Nagano is located at the center of Japan, and this is where the head office of Hioki EE Corporation is situated. As a general manufacturer of electrical measuring instruments, Hioki responds to the needs of today by contributing to the progress of society through the delivery of advanced test and measurement products. Our company was founded in Minato Ward, Tokyo in 1935, where we began manufacturing electrical indicating meters. During World War II, Hioki swiftly fled to the town of Sakaki in Nagano, where our business found a new beginning. After the war, we expanded our operations by promoting exports and OEM production. Hioki's business was at risk in the 1970s due to the global oil crisis. But by shifting our direction to provide products with a high level of added value, we have grown consistently as a company that stands out on its own. In 1990, we relocated our head office to Ueda City. We built our manufacturing plant in a parked setting called Hioki Forest Hills, unifying our development, production, sales, and service functions to create products for our customers worldwide. Hioki's measuring instruments support the development and advancement of various industries. One industry is alternative energy. For the electronics industry, we offer tools for development of electronic parts. For the transportation industry, we provide solutions for the development of automobiles and trains. Hioki is also engaged in infrastructure, where our products are used to maintain and inspect utility networks. Let's see how Hioki products are used in these industrial areas. Automatic test equipment is used to inspect PCBs that are embedded in precision and electronic devices, which are indispensable in next-generation products, such as smartphones. Our measuring instruments play a vital role in capturing signal changes and recording measured results. Data acquisition equipment is used in developing electrical machinery and monitoring mission-critical facilities, such as power plants and substations. They are also needed to evaluate and analyze whether systems are operating correctly. Electronic measuring instruments include LCR meters that test electronic components, high-performance power analyzers that evaluate motor and inverter efficiency, and battery testers that diagnose battery deterioration. Field measuring instruments, such as multimeters and insulation resistance meters, are used in electrical construction and facility maintenance. Among these is the world's first non-metallic contact measurement technology, designed to prevent electrical accidents, a true revolutionary tool. The Hioki Business Organization is a collection of all of our divisions, from R&D to production, quality assurance, sales, and service. The new product development group brings products to market in a speedy manner by building teams through concurrent engineering. Hioki's engineering and research and development departments are located together at the Hioki Innovation Center, where they engage in R&D that maximizes communication between each staff. These teams strive every day to design products that incorporate the requests of our customers quickly and comprehensively, using revolutionary technology. By turning unexpected circumstances into opportunities, our engineers are charged with developing instruments that play an important role in the security of our lifestyle and protection of critical facilities. Hioki is engaged in the development of highly reliable, state-of-the-art measuring instruments that utilize the latest testing environments, such as anechoic chambers. From assembly to shipment, Hioki's manufacturing lines build products from start to finish. One unique characteristic of the Hioki production system is the ability to accommodate our high-mix, variable volume business model that enables it to deliver several hundreds of different models in quantities from only a few units to several thousand a month, and within the time needed by our customers. This flexibility is achieved through our cell production system, which is designed to provide functions from assembly to inspection and shipment, and through our multi-operator approach, where one manufacturing staff can produce many different types of products. We drive automation to produce high-quality products with extraordinary reliability through the fusion of man and machine. Our sales and service divisions work in close contact with our customers as we strive to become a brand that they can always count on. Hioki's first and foremost mission is to capture our customers' feedback and hidden needs arising from problems found in manufacturing work sites to highly specialized laboratories. We also strive to enhance our after-service programs to offer our customers a sense of security, satisfaction, and amazement. In Japan, our sales offices work together with distributors to provide total customer service. Outside of Japan, Hioki operates subsidiaries in Asia, America, Europe, and the Middle East, where we work diligently to expand our sales network in cooperation with local offices. Through the continuation of our globalization strategy, we pursue product development and services based on a firm understanding of the needs of each country in order to respond with the proper solutions. What is Hioki's mission? Hioki's measuring instruments support the advancement of our industrious society. Accurate measurement at manufacturing plants and facilities play an important role in creating a safe and secure society. To further technological progress and protect our ecosystem, advanced measurement methods are indispensable. Hioki will continue to meet these challenges by delivering the right products at the right time. At the core of product development is creativity and craftsmanship. We contribute to society through our people who use their expertise and skills to create products that play an important role in the development of industry. Hioki forestills, gives birth to life, and nurtures growth. Within this environment, Hioki is committed to delivering measurement solutions that are characterized by world-class capabilities.
Hi, a very good afternoon to everyone. My name is Kevin, and I'm the Assistant Marketing Manager from Hioki Singapore. And right now, I'm here in Singapore, and the time now is 2 p.m. Very happy to have every one of you us online to join us for this webinar. Thank you for taking your precious time. Now, ladies and gentlemen, during this global pandemic, the medical equipment there's a high demand on that. And many manufacturers are rushing to meet the demands. Now, ladies and gentlemen, similar to many of the electrical devices and equipment, the medical equipment has to be tested for safety as well. And this is especially important because the medical devices and equipment comes in contact with the patients and also healthcare workers. Now, because of this, we decided to organize this webinar together with Hioki India, Hioki MEA, and also Hioki Japan Hioki EE Corporation to organize this webinar to educate our customers and end users on the importance of the safety testing for the medical equipment. Now, today we are very happy to have our speakers, Mr. Sato-san and Mr. Sakata-san. And later we'll also have the Hioki EE Corporation, the President and CEO, Mr. Kazutoshi Hosoya, to say a few words. But before I bring them online, allow me to orientate you in this GoToWebinar. Please allow me to share my screen. Okay, hold on a while. All right, here you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, some of you might be coming to GoToWebinar for the first time. So I think it is important for us to orientate you on the GoToWebinar control panel so that you are more or less familiar with the software. Now, points to note, ladies and gentlemen, what you are seeing now to the left is the GoToWebinar video screen. And also, you will see the presentation as well. Now, to the right is the GoToWebinar control panel, where you can actually ask questions and select the audio mode. All right, so very important, by now you should be able to hear me, all right? Otherwise, please choose the computer audio and make sure that you can hear me loud and clear, all right? And there's also another button, the orange arrow button, where you can actually click and minimize the control panel to enhance your user experience during the during the presentation. All right, so I was just saying earlier, you should be able to hear me now, loud and clear, and you can choose the computer audio. All right, so very important, at any point of time, if you got disconnected during this webinar due to internet connection, poor internet connection, please click back the same link. I repeat, if at any point of time you actually experience poor internet connection, please click back the same link so that you can join us back in this webinar, all right? All right, so my colleagues has also added some additional handouts in this webinar. You can actually look under handouts and you will be able to find some of the communication materials with reference to the topics today. All right, so we will also be preparing digital certificates. I think some of the participants, you have actually indicated that you wanted to have the digital certificates. So we will prepare them, and only for participants who have attended 90 minutes or more of the webinar, you will be receiving the digital certificate in probably 1 or 2 days. All right, so for some of the participants who are from Singapore, we know that you are asking about the PDU points. Just for information, we have actually submitted the PDU approval to the Professional Engineering Board, PEB, and is pending approval. So upon the approval of the PDU points, I will drop an email to the Singapore engineers and request for your engineer registration number so that I will be able to submit for the PDU points recording accordingly. And for some of you who have requested for the recorded recordings, it will be available after 48 hours. And the recording, if you are actually interested to have the recordings, please write an email to the respective in charge, which I will be sharing the emails in a while. All right, so let's go through the program for today. Now, shortly after this, we'll have the Hioki EE Corporation President and CEO, Mr. Kazutoshi Hosoya, to say a few words, and my colleagues, Sakata-san and also Sato-san will be explaining to you, will be going into the topics of the basic understanding of the safety testing for the medical equipment and appliances, the main topic for today. We will also be doing some product demonstration. And most importantly, towards the end, we will have a question and answer session. Thus, if you have any questions, feel free to send in, and we will be answering them at the end of this webinar. And finally, we will do the wrap up end of the wrap up, and my boss, actually, Mr. Miyazawa from the Hioki Singapore Private Limited, will be doing a final wrap up. All right, so very importantly, please get interactive. I think in order to get this webinar to be a successful one, it should be a two-way approach. So I was mentioning earlier, you can actually send in your questions by keying in your control panel. And after this, if you have any questions with regards to pricing, quotation, you can actually send to the respective point of contact over here. So we have from Hioki India, you can write to depart@hioki.co.in. Hioki MEA, write to Anil, ANIL, @hiokimea.ae. And for our customers and also for end users from Southeast Asia, Bangladesh, Oceania regions, and any other regions that I've missed out here, you can write to marketing@hioki.com.sg. So we'll be answering your questions over email if you're not able to answer today. At the same time, I mentioned about the video recording. If you're interested to have the video recording, you can also write into these 3 separate emails over here. All right, so just to introduce to you, these are our handsome engineers from Hioki E Corporation and Hioki India. So I was mentioning earlier, my colleagues, Mr. Sato and Mr. Sakata, will be explaining on the topics for today. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, without further ado with this, I've now come to the end of the briefing slide. So right now, I will invite Hioki E Corporation President and CEO, Mr. Kazutoshi Hosoya, to say a few words. And his speech will be translated by my colleague, Ms. Ivy from Singapore. All right, Mr. Hosoya, please.
皆さん、こんにちは。日置電機の細谷です。本日は日置のおよびセミナーにご参加いただき、誠にありがとうございます。
Hello everyone, this is Kazutoshi Hosoya, President and CEO of Hioki EE Corporation. Thank you very much for participating in Hioki webinar today.
日置はお客様にとって価値の高い高品質の製品と最高のサービスを提供することを第一に日々の活動を続けております。それは世界中のお客様を対象に活動を進めているところでございます。
At Hioki, we continue our daily activities with the highest priority to provide customers with high value, high quality products together with our best service. This is our aim for customers around the world.
日置は日本の企業ではありますが、世界各地に拠点を置き、世界中のお客様の声を直接お聞きできる体制を構築してきました。それはお客様とともにものづくり、ことづくりをしていくという活動です。
Although Hioki is a Japanese company, we have established a system that allows us to hear from the voices of customers directly with offices around the world. It is an activity of working together with customers to create not only better products, but also better solutions.
今回のセミナーには、日置の販売拠点であるシンガポール、インド、中東のお客様が参加いただいていると聞いております。日本からは距離もあり、時差もありますが、多くの地域の皆様にご参加いただけるのも、世の中の ICT 技術の進化のおかげでもあります。
I have heard that this seminar will be attended by customers from ASEAN, India, and the Middle East, where Hioki has office. Although it is far from Japan and there are time differences, thanks to the evolutions of ICT technology, everyone in the world in many areas can participate.
このような ICT 技術だけでなく、世界中で技術革新による変化が起こっております。日置はこの変化にスピードを持って対応すること、そしてお客様価値を最大にすることに取り組んでおります。
Not only ICT technology like this, but other technological changes occur rapidly all over the world. And Hioki is committed to respond quickly to these changes as well as to maximize our value at each customer in the ever-changing world.
今年はコロナ禍の影響から世界中の皆さんが不安と不自由さを感じているかと思います。また、いろんな制約の中で苦労されているかと思います。コロナの収束には多少時間はかかると思いますが、今の医療、医学、科学技術の進化に期待すれば、コロナの収束は時間の問題ではあります。
This year, I think everyone around the world is feeling anxious and inconvenient due to the effects of corona pandemic. I believe you are struggling too due to various restrictions. It will take some time for the pandemic to end, but if we look forward to the development and evolutions of medicines, vaccine, science, and technology, it will be a matter of time until the corona pandemic ends.
本日は医療機器の電気安全に関するセミナーということもあり、日置の理念にもあります。社会への貢献が多少なりともできればと思います。
Today, we are having a seminar on electrical safety for medical device, whereby I would like to make some contribution to the society, which is a part of Hioki philosophy.
これからも皆さんには日置との関係を持ち続けていただき、少しでも皆さんのお役に立てれば大変嬉しく思います。本日はご参加いただきまして誠にありがとうございます。
We hope that you will continue to have good relationship with Hioki and that this event and our product will be of use to everyone. Once again, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Hosoya-san, and thank you, Ivy, for translating Hosoya-san's speech. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we'll now hand over the webinar to our presenters for today. Mr. Sakata and Mr. Sato will be presenting to you today's topic. Sakata-san and Sato-san, please. Thank you. Right, Sakata-san, I think we can't hear you. You need to on your.
Sorry.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Over to you again. Thank you.
Okay. So hello. So my name is Yusuke Sakata of Hioki, India. So I'm a member of Hioki, India. But right now, like this kind of very difficult COVID-19 situation. So that's why right now I stay in Japan, headquarters of Hioki, Japan. Okay. Today I want to introduce about electrical measurement for medical equipment. And also, he's Mr. Yusuke Sato. He is manager of marketing group of measurement electrical instruments for measurement, medical instruments. He has the experience to develop about our product, especially for this product, over 10 years. After that, he moved to the marketing group. So today, we are do the web seminar for this equipment. After presentation, we will promote actual product for you. And also, we also have a Q&A session. So if you have any question, please ask us after our presentation. Okay. So this is our today's presentation. So can you see my screen clearly? So if I hope, so if okay, I will start. So today's topic is basic understanding of safety testing for medical equipment and appliancing using Hioki instruments. Okay. So these are today's agenda. So firstly, I want to explaining about basic of electrical safety test. Okay. First step, I want to introduce about the standard for electrical safety testing. After that, safety measures defined by standards. Okay. So next, tests required for electrical safety and measurement instruments. So we have these instruments from Hioki, Hipot test with standard voltage testing, and the insulation resistance testing, and the ground bond testing, and the leakage current testing. Okay. After that, I will promote actual product. Okay. So firstly, I want to introduce about the standard for electrical safety testing. Okay. So they are established in each country based on IEC standard. There are EN standard, JIS standard for Japan, GB standard for China, but all of the standard is depend on came from IEC standard, IEC 61010. So IEC 61010 is the most important standard for safety testing. Okay. For general equipment like a home appliance, like information equipment, so IEC 62368-1 is this kind of instrument standard. Okay. Audio, video, information, and communication technology equipment, like this. And IEC 61010-1 is for measuring instruments like a Hioki product. So that's why it's a little difference with another general equipment. So for medical equipment, there are also IEC 60601-1. This is for medical electrical equipment, like this. Okay. So next, there are two kinds of routine tests. I want to introduce difference between pattern test and the routine test. So what is a pattern test? Pattern test is like for R&D purpose or something. So to form design specifications during development. Okay. So that's why this is a little strict testing compared to routine test. So if we're talking about the routine test, it's for production testing. So that's why it is very, of course, it is very important. But this, measurement standard, the threshold, is not so strict compared to pattern test. Okay, next, safety measure defined by standard. Okay, let me explain about the electrical shock. Okay, so electrical shock is an electric current flowing through the human body, causes an electrical shock, like this. So this is a dangerous voltage. So this is a current route. Okay. So in that case, if the human feels some current, so in that case, it called it electrical shock. So this diagram shows about the safety measurement defined by standards. So horizontal axis is frequency characteristic. So vertical axis is current. Okay. So more than 10 milliampere, it is very, very dangerous. In addition, if the electrical shock current is a high frequency, so in that case, human cannot notice about like this kind of very high frequency current. So that's why high current and high frequency is the most dangerous for human. Okay, So for like this kind of electrical shock, we can countermeasure two kinds of countermeasure. So first one is escape. It means ground. So second one is contain. It means insulate. Okay. Safety standards dictated that you take 2 or 1 measure to improve safety. So first one is a ground. Okay. So this is how to do the ground, how to do the escape method for number 1 countermeasure. Okay. This is a dangerous voltage. This is a human. So if this kind of electrical instruments has a very good connection to the ground, like here. So in that case, all of the current going to the ground resistance, like this flow. Okay. Here you can see example. So if the ground resistance is 100 million and the human is 1 kilo, so in that case, the leakage current which is goes through the human body is just 1 divided 10,000. It's a very safe. It's a very safe. So next, regarding insulation. So this is a dangerous voltage. So it's a insulation resistance. Okay. Here, as you can see, dangerous voltage. If dangerous voltage is 100 volt and the insulation resistance is 100 mega ohm, and human is 1 kilo. So in that case, people can detect the voltage is just a 10 millivolt. Okay, so that's why because of the insulation resistance, this human also very, very safe, we can say. So it means and also so safety measures defined by standard. So how to check about like these two countermeasure. For ground, we can measure using ground bonding test, ground bond test. For insulate, we can measure Hipot test, insulation resistance test, and a leakage current test. So that's why these four measurement is a very, very important for check the safety of electrical instruments, ground and the insulate. Okay, the equipment class is determined by how to take the second protection. So there are two kinds of electrical instruments, class 1 and class 2. Okay, class 1 is like this, as you can see. So this equipment already do the countermeasure for insulate and ground. First protection is insulate, and the second protection is ground. For class 2 instruments, equipment, almost case both of insulate is the countermeasure for class 2 for keep the safe of the class 2 equipment. So this diagram shows regarding class 2 equipment. So for class 2 equipment, I said you need to do the countermeasure, two kinds of insulation. But if you can do the reinforced insulation, it's okay. But basically, you need to do the basic insulation and the supplementary insulation. It means double insulation. This is better, but also okay from the standard. Okay, that's all about the basic of electrical safety test. It's just a basic knowledge. So next part, I want to introduce tests required for electrical safety and measuring instruments. So there are, as I told you, there are 4 types of tests: Hipot test, insulation resistance test, and ground bond test, and leakage current test. So today I will explain all of the product one by one. So firstly, I want to introduce Hipot test. So what's the purpose of Hipot test? This is to confirm whether the product has sufficient dielectric strength, it means insulation strength, against the voltage handled by electrical product and parts called destructive test. In particular, user safety, it means prevent electrical shock. Product safety, fire accident due to defective insulation, like this picture. Okay. Electrical shock and fire is very, very dangerous. So that's why, because of this purpose, we have to do the Hipot test. Okay. The test described in standard, the Hipot test between all primary circuits connected to commercial power and the conductive parts that may be touched by people. Standard sets. Okay. Okay. So next, which part we should do the test for Hipot? Okay. We have to do the Hipot test like these 3 points, basically. Okay. Enclosure with protective. This is an enclosure with protective grounding. And here. Here is the enclosure without protective grounding. Number 2 is here. Okay. So this is a floated connection. Number 3 is here. These 3 points we have to do for Hipot testing. So for safety, during the Hipot test, the low voltage side terminal should be connected to parts where people can touch. This is because of safety. Because as you know, as you can understand, so lead probe applies high voltage. So that's why, because of the safety, this connecting is a more safety than reverse connection. This is one of the example of the measurement TV for Hipot. Okay, this is a TV. So for lead probe is a dangerous voltage. This instrument will apply. So that's why lead probe connect to the short circuit between L and N. It's a jig. Okay. And the black terminal we can connect to screw. Because this part, this TV, when someone touch around here, so in that case, it is safety than reverse connection. So that's why we recommend to connect like this picture. Okay, so basic selection criteria. The instruments can output the test voltage described in the standard and measure leak current. That's all. And also, sometimes in addition, up to the standard, okay, some standard mentioned the accuracy of the voltmeter is 1.5% or higher, like this. Some standard or sometimes laws of each countries. So that's why please refer to your standard and your country's law if you want to search, if you want to find about the instruments. These are one of the examples. Okay, so that's all about the Hipot test. So next, I will move to the insulation resistance test. Okay, firstly, I want to explaining about the purpose. So to confirm insulation performance. But anyway, basic idea is the same as with standard testing. Okay. But a little difference. So what's the difference between Hipot test and the insulation resistance measurement? So insulation resistance test does not look at insulation strength. It means measure the resistance value. Okay. So that's why many Hipot tests alternating current, AC based, but insulation resistance tests are DC based. So That's why it's a different purpose to check. Okay, so from here, I want to introduce about the point to node for measurement, Hipot, and the insulation resistance test. Firstly, protect against the electrical shock because it's a very, very high voltage. So it's dangerous. So that's why ground the measurement, please ground the measurement instruments like this. And use high voltage electronic instruments globe, rubber globe, and the insulating mat in consideration at worker safety. Okay, next for measurement. Please try to reduce leakage current from cable. This is if the two cable is very, very near. So in that case, there are some storage capacitance is occurred like this. So it is one of the very big error for measurement Hipot test and the insulation resistance test. So that's why, so cable, please control, please handle your cable. It is very important. And also countermeasure against noise by applying high voltage. So especially if this red cable is a very high voltage, so that's why please be careful about the external I/O cable and RS-232 communication cable if you want to communicate with your laptop or PC. Thirdly, production line and system. Our Hipot test and insulation testing has an interlock function for safety. So that's why please use it to keep setting from being mistakenly changed. Okay, and handle of high voltage cable. Keep away the ground as much as possible, as I told you, like this. So please be careful. This especially for red cable. Okay. So these are our Hipot tester and the insulation resistance tester from Hioki. Okay. We have 5 kinds of product. We have a 3158. This is a AC Hipot test only. We also have a 3159. 3159 can do the AC Hipot test and insulation resistance test. Both of you can do. And we also have 3153. This is an all-in-one type. So it means you can do the AC DC Hipot test and the insulation resistance test. In addition, this guy has a auto test function and the scanner. It is available about the scanner. So if you want some of the point, multiple point for Hipot test and insulation test, so we strongly recommend to use 3153 and our scanner. And we also have a 3174. So this is a little difference with like these three instruments. So it also can do the Hipot test and the insulation resistance test. Power is not so high compared to other product, but it has a contact check function. ST5520 can do only insulation resistance test. However, it also has a contact check function. So what is the contact check function? So it is prevents error due to poor contact. Priority to test, the tester checks whether the probe contact with the device under test is securely made. It can work to prevent false judgments in insulation test due to poor contacts of the probe. Okay. Regarding contact check, there are 2 methods of prevention are available as follows. For wire contact check, it is a very, how to say, very accurate to check the contact. So 2 probe is for, of course, to measure insulation or Hipot, and another two probe is only for checking for contact. So that's why it is very accurate to detect about the contact. So if your system is not available about the full contact, even comparator contact check also be available if you want to use only two terminal. Okay? So if you set upper limit of the comparator, if a contact error happen, the test shows upper fail to warn the operator. Okay. So that's why even two terminal you can do the contact check. Okay. So next, let's move about ground bond test. Well, we also can say earth resistance test. What is the purpose? To make sure the ground is connected with low resistance. Okay. Basic test condition regarding a standard test current should be 25 ampere or 1.5 times the highest rated current. And regarding no load voltage, not exceeding 6 volt. At test time depend on the standard. Almost case, we can say 5 to 10 sec or 60 sec. And allowed resistance, personal fail. So maximum 0.1 ohm. If we combine with and maximum 0.2 ohm with fixed power code. So which part should we do the ground bond test? Test area, as you can see, is red area. So protective earth pole and areas where the protective earth is connected. For example, metal enclosure and the screw, like that. These are the measurement point of the ground bond test. Okay, so we have a 3157. This is our ground bond test. Output current, this instrument can apply AC from 3 to 31 ampere. And of course, no load voltage, maximum 6 volt. And we also have a special feature, soft start function. It is a spark do not fly, even when a large current is applied. So what is the soft start function? This is a diagram, how to do the soft start function. Okay. The horizontal axis is time, so vertical axis is output current from 3157. So if the test is ready and after testing, so connect the test probe. So 3157 apply very, very small voltage, okay, to check the connection. So if 3157 detect, oh, this is good connection. After that, 3157 increase the applying current like this. So that's why there are no spark during the measurement. It's very safe. Okay. So it's a final product from for today. So this is a leakage current testing. What is a leakage current testing? The purpose to check insulation performance. Okay, but especially for medical device, leak current testing is extremely important. Okay, so safety judgment criterion. This is a test for leak current that would flow through a person, the human body. So as you can see, if we're talking about the leakage current, so someone imagine about the like this kind of clamp meter or with standard voltage testing. So these kinds of instruments also can measure leakage current. But in this here, this presentation perfectly different meaning of the leak current test. Okay, please be careful. Anyway, test for leak current that would flow through a person, a human body. Okay, so higher safeties are required compared to general electrical instruments for medical device because connected to the patient for a long time, like this situation. And sometimes the patient cannot connect. Only the doctor or nurse, I don't know, that can connect the equipment. And sometimes the patient may be unconscious. So like this kind of situation, medical device have to more safe than general electrical equipment. So next, I want to talking about major medical electrical equipment standards. It's a latest version. So for international standard, IC 60601-1 edition 3. It's from 2005. Okay, IC and also MD1 edition 3 2012. This is the latest medical electrical equipment. Okay, so and also for reference, GIS Japanese standard also available. GIST 0601-1 2017. Okay, so this picture shows applied part for medical device. So there are three kinds of type: type B, type BF, and type CF. So what's the difference? So please check here: connected to heart and insulated. So that's why we can say type CF. If we see the type CF medical equipment, so this equipment needs very, very high class safety, like this. So next, for measuring leakage current for medical device, so we have to simulate human resistance. It means measurement network. Okay. So from standard, we can say the human is like this circuit, electrical circuit, two kinds of R and one capacitance. We can say human is like this kind of electrical circuit. Here is shown, this circuit has like this kind of frequency characteristic. This is a frequency characteristic. So this human circuit is a little difference. Each of the standard, UL standard mentioned these two circuits, and IC standard also defined like this kind of circuit. It's up to standard. So all of the standard, all of the electrical circuit, our product ST5540 has all of the electrical circuit. So don't worry. Before measurement, please choose the standard. After that, you can measure like this. Okay. So from standard, leakage current tests are defined so as to allow confirmation of how much leakage current will flow under variable of circumstances. The test must be carried out under a number of test conditions. So it means we have to do the two kinds of situation: normal condition and a single fault condition. So as I told you, medical device should have a very, very high class of the safety. So that's why even single fault condition, like supply voltage is increased 110%, and break in power wire, and break in ground wire, like this kind of single fault condition. Even this kind of single fault condition, medical device has to be safe. Okay, so next type of leakage current testing. So from standard, we can say there are six kinds of leakage current testing. So today, I want to explain three typical measurement for leakage current testing. First one is earth leakage current. Test object class 1 equipment and class 2 equipment with functional earth. Okay, and also we need to check if the earth is break. So in that case, also to keep the safety to small the leakage current like this. So this picture, this diagram shows it means from standard, actual standard. So if you see the standard, this kind of picture is a little complicated for you. So that's why today I want to explain it for easy understanding. So this is a human device, and this is a power supply for test object. Okay, this is a test object, medical equipment. Okay. So that's why these are the ST5540. But if you use our product, so in that case, these are our product, ST540. Okay, so if you connect like this, so you can measure this one's leakage current. In addition, ST5540 has like this kind of switch. Okay, so this switch will perform about the single fault condition or something. Okay. If you don't use our product, you have to prepare like this kind of switch yourself. But if you use our ST5540, all of the switch is including. So that's why measurement is very, very easy. Next is a touch current. Okay, so there are two kinds of touch current between enclosure and earth, and between enclosure and enclosure here, as you can see. Enclosure without protective grounding parts, for example, plastic or insulating material, like this, we can see. So these are the diagram from standard. Okay, so in that case, here is a two area. This is MD1 is between enclosure and earth, and MD2 is between enclosure and enclosure. Okay, so just you can measure connect like this. This is equipment. You can measure both of touch current measurement. And also, as I told you, ST540 automatically switch using this kind of internal switch, internal relays. Okay, finally, patient leakage current from the patient connection to earth. Device under test is a ME equipment with attached part. Attached part here. So this is actually connected to the human. So in that case, what is how much is the leakage current like this? Okay. These are the standard figure. This is a measurement part. From here, here is the attached part. Okay, here is the attached part, and connect to the MD. Okay. In that case, you can measure patient leakage current from the patient connection to us. Okay, regarding patient leakage current, like this kind of standard mentioned, please measure both of AC situation and DC situation. Okay, so that's why in that case, as you know, as I told you, human is like this, resistance and capacitance. Okay, so it means you can measure only AC component of leakage current. But if you want to do for DC component of the leakage current, so in that case, ST5540 can do the filter off. If filter off function is on, so in that case, you can see DC component of the leakage current. So in that case, also ST540 is very, very convenient to do the standard, the measurement from standard. Okay, so finally, I want to introduce about our ST5540 product features. Of course, the product can test in compliance with IC 60601-1 edition 3. I already introduced latest IC standard. Secondly, it provides an uninterrupting power priority switching function. Thirdly, it supports current rating of up to 20 ampere. Fourthly, it can measure protective conductor current. Finally, it provides an extensive range of check functionality. Okay, so we have two models of the leakage current measurement, ST5540 and ST5541. So ST5540 can cover all of the equipment, medical use electrical device and general use electrical device. So if you are interested in only general use electrical device, so in that case, ST5541 is better. ST5541 is an inexpensive model than ST5540. Okay, so if you turn on the ST5540, and you can find like this kind of display. So you can see all of the standard number. So if you want to do IC 60601-1, so in that case, please push the network B2 like this. In addition, Hioki already checked the standard. So that's why Hioki already set default setting for the threshold of the leakage current comparator setting. So that's why just you can open the network and you can test. It's very easy. Okay, so what is the uninterrupted power priority switching function? Okay, so if ST5540, when ST5540 performs the normal and conventional switching, so issue is with the conventional method or competitor method, the DUT will lose power when the priority is switched. Okay, that's why Hioki suggests very how to say good way to do like this kind of measurement. It's a Hioki patent. So the DUT does not lose power since priority is switched with the power supply L and N still connected, so that power continue to be supplied to the DUT. But if you want to do like this kind of measurement, you need to use an isolation transformer. But if you can prepare isolation transformer during the measurement, you can do the uninterrupted power priority switching. Okay, next features. Our instruments can support a rated capacity of up to 20 ampere. So recently, medical device incorporate a computer, and this kind of like a CT scanning system. So in that case, the current will be increasing more and more. So that's why our ST5540 can cover up to 20 ampere. Okay. So from the standard, sometimes you have to measure protective conductor current. Okay. So ST5540, as I told you, for leakage current measurement, you can insert human electrical circuit up to the standard. But if you want to measure protective conductor current, the standard said, please insert very, very small resistance. So ST540 can insert 35 ohm in series with the protective conductor. So that's why our ST540 can available about this measurement from standard also. Okay, we also have many kinds of checking functionality. So winding connection and VA check. If you turn on our ST5540, you can see this display, the voltage from the outlet and the current indicates the current consumption of equipment under test, and the power consumption and the LZ voltage and from N to Z voltage as well. You can check. And also, as I told you, ST5540 including so many kinds of relay to measure the leakage current measurement from the standard. So that's why you can also do the checking the relay internal ST5540. This is also very, very convenient. And fuse also. ST540 has a check for the fuse. This is also automatically if you want to check the fuse. Okay, that's all from my side. So Kimi-san, can you do the demonstration about the ST5540?
Yes, sure. Allow me to share my slides. Please give me a moment. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, right now I'll be showing a video. So please give me a while I bring the video up. Okay. All right. So right now we'll be playing a video on the demonstration of the ST5540. So ladies and gentlemen, please take a look.
I'm going to explain the general operation of the ST5540 leakage current high tester. This instrument is designed to measure leakage current, especially those which could flow through the human body. The instrument incorporates various measurement network models which simulates electrical resistance of the human body. The ST5540 measures leakage current using these simulated resistance networks. This includes measurement networks used not only for medical equipment, but also in general household appliances or general equipments. At first, I supply power to the medical equipment from here and check to see if it's turned on. It is powered on and running. Now I will measure enclosure leakage current or touch current. When a measurement item is selected, it starts the measurement. The left screen shows the maximum value and the right screen shows the current measurement value. I will insert a cable When we measure an enclosure, this kind of material is used. This simulates the size of a human hand. We treat it as a human hand. I attach this cable to the edge and put this surface on the target. You place it here as you would place your hand, since it simulates a contact with a human hand. It is called normal mode now, which has no malfunctions. The actual standard determines how leakage current is measured for various malfunction conditions. We can change the condition by this measured key. I select auto. First, I select measured item. We basically select on to all items. Since this medical equipment does not have any signal inputs and output functions, I set this item to off. Hit return key and hit return key again. When start key is pressed, the measurement of the conflict test condition starts sequentially. This is the test results. The judgments are all passed. Furthermore, the data is saved when we press this save key. The next test is the patient leakage current measurement. I go to the next page. From patient connection to earth is displayed. Press this key. The simulated hand is connected from this T2 terminal to a fitting part. I insert this cable. I insert this into this hole. It needs close contact like the previous enclosure test. When you do it manually, press it with your hand tightly. I press this measured key and it simulates various malfunction conditions. Select auto as with the previous test. I press measured item. Now all items are set to on. I press the return key. The test will begin when I press the start key. When the test is over, the display looks like this screen. The result equal to or under 1 microampere shows like this. I go to the next page. The values are shown for results over 1 microampere. The data is saved in this tester when save key is pressed. I saved 2 test results. To see our saved data, press this system key and save data. If you want to check the details, press the All key. If you want to check the second result, press the Mode key and then the All key. We can see the results of second patient leakage current of patient to earth. We can see the results.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, with that, I'll now pass over to Mr. Sakata to let him continue the rest of his presentation. Mr. Sakata, please.
So next, we want to do the demonstration of the Hipot test and the ground bond test. So can you see camera? Can you see our camera?
Yes, Sagata-san, we can see. Yeah.
Okay. So today we prepare 2 kinds of product. 3157. This is a 3157, and this is a 3174. Okay. So I will turn on both of the product like this. Okay. So firstly, I will demonstrate to the 3174. Firstly. So before measurement, it is very important things. So please use like this kind of rubber glove, this one, for testing. Because 3174 can apply up to 5 Kelvin. It is very dangerous. Like this. Okay. And here you can see probe, lead probe. Lead probe. Okay. So please connect to here. Okay. And this is a black probe. Okay. So just connect to here. Okay. So why only, as you can see, this black cable is not easy to remove because this is because of the safety. So as you know, today I explained to you about the earth connection of the equipment. So ground should be connected correctly. So that's why for avoid electrical shock, the lead probe can remove very easy, like this, very easy to remove. But this bracket cannot remove, like this. So because of the safety, please remember. And today I want to measure like this motor. Okay, motor. So I will connect to phase. Okay. Before measurement, please check the connection check. Because if the wiring is open, so in that case, measurement is no meaning. That's why please check the wiring is okay or not. Like this. So this is all. This is a short. So this connection is okay. So you can connect to your device. Okay. So I will connect to 3-phase motor. So I will connect to single phase, one phase to the red cable, this one, and I will connect to enclosure of the motor, like this. So connection is over. So next, how to set about the measurement condition. So just you can set this right key. You can set the voltage. So today I will set the, if you want to change, please like this. So today I will apply 1000. And this is the cutoff current. If you want to change cutoff current, you can change like this. Okay. Today I set the 2 milliampere. Today I don't set the lower current about the threshold. But if you want to do lower current, you can change like this. Okay. So next, you can also set the timer. If you want to, so as I told you, so for standard, from standard, basically 60 seconds is a almost station, but today is a demonstration, so I said that just a 10 seconds. Okay, and this is a AC with AC Hipot testing. So if you want to change the frequency, you can change 50 or 60 hertz. But today I set just 50 hertz. Then setting is finished. Sorry, I didn't explain about this green lamp. So it is this camera. Maybe you cannot see, but I can see the above characteristic is a W. So it means with standard. It means Hipot. And below one is the I. It's an insulation. Okay. So if you want to change the function from with standard to insulation, so in that case, please push here. You can change to the insulation. So this is a with standard. Okay. So the setting for with the standard is finished. So I will start. So before measurement, it's a for start. Firstly, please push the red button. After that, please push the green button immediately, like this. So right now, as you can see, 10 sec. This 3153 applied, 3174 applied to the 1000 volt to this motor. And in this time, leakage current is just 0.59 milliampere, very, very low. So that's why this Hipot with the strong is a low problem. Like this. And if you want to go to the insulation testing, it is also almost same setting. Okay. Here is a you can set test voltage. Okay. 1000 volt. And this is the insulation testing. This instrument will measure the resistance, actual resistance. Okay, so that's why you can set the comparator for this resistance. So this is a lower side. And if you need, you can add upper side also. But basically, lower side is okay because you want to check the insulation resistance. And this is a timer. If you want to do, okay, today I want to do the 3 sec. Okay. So let's start. So right now, this product apply 1000 watts, so 1000 volt, and the resistance is almost overflow, very, very high resistance. Quite no problem. Okay. In addition, 3174 has an automatic mode. These two buttons. So it is a little difficult to see, but this left button, we can see that W to I, from W to I. And the right button is from I to W. It means if you push this left button of the out function, so firstly 3174 can do the with standard testing. After that, this instrument can do the insulation test automatically. So let me, and also this setting is already set by the each mode. So that's why just I test, I can do the out test. Okay, firstly, as you can see, this is a withstanding testing for 10 sec. After that, as you can see, this is the insulation testing and finish and OK, like this. So it is very easy to do for Hipot and insulation testing in one device. Okay. So next, I want to promote 3157. So 3157 is not so dangerous. So that's why I removed the lava glow because it's quite hot. Okay. So today I want to measure this instrument. It's an electrical instrument. Okay. Hioki product RM3545. It's a resistance meter. Very accurate resistance meter. And also, this is a 3157 AC grounding tester, high tester. Okay. So how to connect? This is a pro. So for grounding test, we should measure. I already explained in presentation. Please connect to. Please connect to this inlet. I connect here. Here, this one, like this. And another probe. Please connect to grounding part of the enclosure. Okay. So next, let's explain about how to set to the AC grounding tester. So this is the test current. Right now, I said 25 ampere. If you want to change, you can change here. Okay. And this is very similar user interface with our Hipot tester. So here also this is the resistance value, the threshold. Okay, right now I said 0.1 or 100 million. If the 1 farad is the upper side of the operator, so if the measurement result is over the 100 million, so in that case it will show error. And this is a timer to measure ground box test. And this is the frequency. You can set 50 Hz or 60 Hz. Okay. So measurement start. So right now, just 12 million. So it is very good ground connection from here to here. So that's all about the demonstration. So Kimi-san, let's go to the QA session.
Sure. All right. So thank you, Mr. Sakata and Mr. Sato. Thank you for the demonstration. All right. So Mr. Sato and Mr. Sakata, could you also put yourself in front of the camera so that our guests will be able to see you online as well. So right now we will be having the question and answer session. Okay, so we have, okay, let me take a look. We have quite a number of questions here. So are you ready, Mr. Sato and Mr. Sakata?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right, sure. So let's start with the easy one. Thank you very much. So before I proceed to the question and answer, so ladies and gentlemen, we really appreciate you for sending in your questions. So we would love to see more. I think this is a very good chance for our audience to interact with our engineers, and also at the same time, because today we have more than 200 people online. At the same time, this group of audience come from 26 different regions. So if you have any applications that you would like to share with other members or share with our engineers, I think it's a good time, a good chance to learn with each other. So feel free to send in your questions and we'll be ready to answer them. All right, so with that, let's take a look at some of the questions here. This question is from Mr. Sergeant Sebastian. I think this is an easy one. His question is the short circuit current 200 milliampere?
So it means for Hipot test, right?
Yes, Sakata-san, where you were showing on the presentation where you have shown that spark plug and the fire, related to that the customer is asking. Does the leakage current was 200 milliampere?
Okay, again, I share the presentation. So, what it mean? Where is the part? Is it? Is it?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yes.
The question was sent in about 2:30 p.m. Singapore time, so it's roughly there. Yeah. So his question was once again, is the short circuit current 200 milliampere with regards to the Hipot test?
So, as I told you, so regarding our Hipot tester, the short current is these three products can do that up to 200 milliampere. However, 3174 can do that 20 milliampere. Is it okay?
I think should be okay. So, Mr. Sergeant Sebastian, we hope that we have answered your question. Otherwise, you can continue to send in your questions below. All right, so thank you. So let's go to the next question over here. Okay, this is quite interesting. It's quite technical. So it's from Mr. Saurabh Singh. The question goes like this. What are the requirements of a semi-reverberant room according to IEC 60601? What are the requirements of a semi-reverberant room as per IEC 60601? I think the requirements can be varies quite a bit. So I'm not too sure whether we can cover the whole thing, but maybe I'm not too sure. Mr. Sakata, would you be able to advise some of the basic requirements of a semi-reverberant room according to IEC 60601 based on your experience?
Just a moment, Timmy-san.
All right, sure.
We are discussing regarding this room.
So please give our engineer some time.
Yes.
I know a bit about this. So 60601-1-8 tells about the alarms and the sound making by the equipments. So when the system is making that kind of means, like I'm just giving an example. If it sound it's of 1 kilohertz of tone, then when it's surrounded in your that particular room. So there are some certain points have been defined by the standard. So how far should be the sound should travel, and for that certain areas where the sound deviates because of the when it is getting interacted by the wall of that room, then up to which order of harmonics it is been generated. So mostly it is talking about when the frequencies of 1 kilohertz up to 4 orders of the harmonics need to check. So that kind of certain things are been talked by the 60601-1-8. Yes, Sagata-san.
カスさん、一応部屋は反響室だって反響室。反響する部屋。
ありがとうございます、関本さん。
はい。
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, just to orientate you, together with us here, apart from Sakata-san and Sato-san, we also have our colleagues from different regions. Just now, what you heard from is Mr. Deepak. He's from India. He's also a very experienced staff in this field. So apart from that, our colleagues are all online actually. So not just myself and Sakata-san and Sato-san, they're actually supporting us on the questions. So you might on and off hear their voices, but maybe they are too shy to come online. But the most important thing is that we hope that with our colleague support from different regions, we will be able to answer your inquiries. All right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So in that thing, one more point I would like to add that the echo of that sound should be plus and minus up to 15 dB between this harmonics level for related to the fundamental. That is the basic requirement for chamber which is following this standard. So when you are applying that sound which is of 1 kilohertz up to means like from between 1 kilohertz to 4 kilohertz, then you need to check that particular sound up to 4th harmonics, and it should be between the 15 dB. That is the basic requirement of the chamber actually.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now, Deepak, in your opinion, in India, or probably Sakata-san can also answer a question, in India or in Japan, is it very common to have a semi-reverberant room in the medical industry, or it can be quite open to other industries as well?
Kimi-san, from our opinion, so regarding semi-reverberant room, we guess this is not equipment; it's just kind of room. So we guess it is not need to check the IC 6060-1. But however, if you want some kind of instruments to check the to use in this kind of room, so like this kind of equipment, you should check compared to the IC 60601-1.
All right, sure. All right, so with that, we hope we have answered that question. We'll now move on to the next one. Okay, this is quite interesting. So, Sakata-san, what is your okay, this is from Mr. Miraj Ikhani. So the question goes like this: what is your recommendation for impedance measurement of protective earth in three-phase equipment which has a current above 30 amperes? I repeat the question. What is your recommendation for impedance measurement of protective earth in three-phase equipment which has a current above 30 ampere?
Just hold on.
Sure. And also our colleagues from other regions, if you are able to answer this, you can feel free to voice out as well. I think it's a good chance for engineers from different, even for our own colleagues to share the answer as well.
Kimi-san, so is this question, it's which product regarding leakage current testing or ground bond testing?
Actually, 坂田さん、保護動通のインピダンス。
保護動通、グランドボンド。
はい。
保護動通は30アンペア以上で一応31の形で。
So our product can up to 31 ampere, basically.
Up to, sorry?
31,
up to 31 amperes.
Yeah, but they're asking for the three phase.
そう、3層の保護動通試験で30アンペア以上が流れる場合は何か勧められる製品はありますかと。
So there are no relation about the three phase and the single phase, especially for ground bond testing. So that's why just please think about the how much current do you want to apply. Please think only these things. This is okay.
All right. Okay, so Mr. Miraj Ikhani, if you have any more points that you want to clarify or questions, feel free to comment below. Okay, we'll now go to, there's a few more questions. Let me take a look. Okay, the questions are coming in. Okay, let me take a look. Okay, this is from Mr. Hon Chong Siu. Mr. Hon Chong Siu. The question goes like this: in what circumstances or application, will that requires a high-speed test of 50 ms for Hipot tester?
坂田さん、50ミリセカンドの耐速定が必要なアプリケーションや環境はどういうものがあり得るんでしょうかと。聞こえないよ。
聞こえない。ちょっと竹山さん、それちょっとディスカッシュ中です。
はい、少々、はい。
僕、20。
あと、インストレーションテストは、時間外で。
はいはいはい。Okay, so maybe for Hipot test, 15 millisecond is not required basically, but maybe this customer complicate sees this slide, I guess. So let me share. Okay, maybe regarding ST5520, you can do the 15 millisecond because it is very, very focused on the high speed measurement for only insulation testing. Okay, so from the standard, insulation resistance testing is not mentioned regarding the measurement time. So that's why if some of the customer require very fast measurement, so in that case, 15 milliseconds is sometimes very, very suitable. For example, like a battery production line or motor production line, if customer want to produce so many number of the components, so in that case, high-speed testing is a very, very good features. But for Hipot testing, they have to take the strongest for the withstanding. So that's why you have to apply some of the time, 10 sec, 60 sec, up to the standard. So that's why basically for Hipot testing, 50 milliseconds is not required.
Thank you for the clarification, Sakata-san. Let's go to the next question. This is from Mr. Jason. Will you be able to show how can the equipments allow the end users to save the data? How can you show, maybe let me rephrase the question. Will the equipments that you have demonstrated earlier, ST5520, 3174, 3157, are you able to show how the data can be saved?
データはどうセーブするかですね。So, データをどう保存するか。So it means he wants to ask about the saving data, right?
That's right.
データはね、内部分できない。
ここ読まれるだけできる。
ここ読まれるできる。
あとはパソコンでつないで。
そうそう、そうなんですよね。
それはフリーソフト927。フリーソフト
927。
Okay, so regarding Hipot tester and the ground bond tester, so these instruments does not have an internal memory. So that's why if you want to save the measurement result, so please connect to your laptop or PC. So in that case, we also have a free software you can download from our site. So it is very easy to save to your laptop from instruments. And also, in addition, but regarding ST5540 leakage current testing, these instruments have an internal memory. So you can save to internal memory, and then this internal memory, of course, you can transfer from the ST5540 to the laptop. Are you clear?
Right, so Jason, if you'd like to know how can you actually save the data, you can actually write in to us to our email. Otherwise, I think like what Sakata-san mentioned about the software, you can actually go to www.hioki.com to download the complimentary software in order to save the data. All right. Next question, I think is quite interesting. This is from Mr. Kumar Vijay. I think it will probably be more of an experience question. So Sakata-san, the question goes like this. Now, as we know that medical equipment will degrade with continuous usage, his question is, when should we recheck such equipment for parameters like leakage current?
When?
How often? Or maybe not just yourself, maybe our colleagues from India or other regions. How often, based on your experiences, how often does the industry check for this parameters like leakage current, or is it just one-time check only when they're doing the manufacturing, or how often do they need to check on the leakage current?
医療機の
Okay,
そ
so
の漏れ電流の頻度だね。
頻度
Yeah, it
どんぐらいの頻度で漏れ電流ですね。
そうそうそう。
It depends on the usage of the machine. Means like we can categorize. Medical machines start from the X-ray machines and can go up to high-end machines like the MRI and the CT scan machines. But as compared to the X-ray machines and the CT scan MRI machines, X-ray machines are being used very regularly as compared to CT scan and MRI machines. So the X-ray machines need very regular testing for the leakage current, right? So the users or the manufacturers who are manufacturing X-ray machines, they do a very continuous test for the X-ray machines as compared to CT scan and MRI. So it depends on the machine usage. So some people do, means like for the CT and MRI machines, people do twice in a year because these machines are running on a very complicated and sophisticated CPU machines. And the X-ray, as they are the very general machines, so the people, even I have seen, they are doing every month these kind of tests. So it depends on the usage and machine to machine.
Okay, from our opinion, so Mr. Yusuke Sato said he has many experience to do like this kind of webinar for Japanese hospital. So in the engineer in the hospital, they always do the one time in half a year. They will test of the leakage current for their medical equipment. It's one of the just an example in Japan.
All right, we
Yeah,
hope
same
that
in India. Same in India. Twice in
Okay.
India.
Yeah, so just to add on, it is very important that you use equipment such as Hioki ST5540. I think just now during Sakata-san's presentation, you realized that there's two different models. One is ST5540, the other is ST5541. So for the ST5540, it will be able to be compliant to the IEC standard. This is especially important in the medical field. Because for all the medical equipment, the safety testing need to be compliant to the IEC standard. That's why you need to choose the ST5540. For the participants who are here today with us, if you are in the medical field and if you are considering to find a medical testing equipment, the leakage current testing equipment, remember to select ST5540. For ST5541, there is also compliant to other standards, but it's more for the general use for the electrical devices. So please remember this clearly. We hope that the presentation from Sakata-san was able to cover this. And if you have any more questions on certain standards, or maybe like GIS or any other standards that you are not very sure on, you can also write into us, all right, to check on the standards if our equipments are compliant to that. But basically, the IEC standard is actually the IC 60601 standard is actually the most basic standard which is required in the medical industry. Okay. All right, so I think we have almost come to the end of the questions. Did I miss any? Sakata-san and Deepak? I think we
there
have
is a
more or less.
Yeah, Kevin, there is a question in the chat box actually. So
Oh, chat
asked
box,
by
okay.
asked by the Mr. Ajit Kumar. So Sakata-san, the question is, they want to know difference between protective leakage current and touch current. So they are the manufacturer of X-ray machines. So they want to know if X-ray machine does not have applied part, then please specify which category would be applied, B, F, or C.
高津さん分かった？
ない場合はやらなくていい。
あれ、竹本さん、今のはだから、XY レインの時はアプライパーツがないんで、その A、なんだっけ、さっきの CF とか B とか BF のどれになるかってことを聞いてますよね。
そうそうそうそう。だからプロテクティブリーケージカレントと、タッチカレントの違い？
なければないんで、関ジャ漏れ電流をやんなくていいだけです。だからその代わり、タッチ漏れと、タッチカレントと、アースリーケージをやればいい。
So in that case, you don't need to do the patient
leakage current.
Patient leakage current. Just you have to do the touch current and earth leakage current. That's all.
And one more question he was, difference between the protection leakage current and touch current. Difference between protection leakage current and touch current.
プロテクションリーケージカレントとタッチカレントの違い。
装着部を返すか返さないか。
So it means it including applied parts or not. This is a difference.
Yeah, right.
Okay, any more questions from the floor?
Yeah, if any more questions are there, then Sakata-san and Sato-san is there to answer. Yeah, please ask the questions so that our expert speakers can reply on the same.
That's right. We have still some time over here with us. And if you have any questions, not just Sakata-san, we have colleagues from India, from Japan. I have also other colleagues from other regions who are now shy to come online. So if you have any questions with regards to your own country, probably the guidelines or any questions about our products, feel free to share. Or if you have any questions or any experience in your own country with regards to safety testing, do let us know. I think we are keen to find out how our products have helped you, or we are keen to learn about new applications in different countries as well. I think it is a rare opportunity that we can have engineers from 26 regions to join us together online here. It's also part of our company corporate philosophy to contribute to society, so as to let more people know about the importance of safety testing. All right, so we are keen to hear from you. So any point of time, if you have any questions, do let us know. Okay. All right, there's one more question from probably this I need Sakata-san to clarify. This is from Mr. Shai Raham too. In ST5540, there's no switch positions like S9, S15, and S7. I'm not very familiar with that. Sakata-san, do you know about this question? About what Mr. Shai is talking about?
So maybe he talking about like this kind of switch, right?
I probably think so, yes.
Yes. So in that case, what is the question?
In ST5540, there's no switch positions like S9, S15, and S7. This is the question.
すみません、竹本さん、ちょっとお願いします。
ST5540 に、その S9 番とか、そういうスイッチ、いくつかのスイッチが見当たらないけども、どこにあるんですかと。
これはだから just a moment. Okay, so today just I explained 3 kinds of the measurement mode: earth leakage current, and touch current, and the patient leakage current from the patient connection to us. So that's why you cannot see some of the switch. Okay. Okay. So, but if you will see another measurement, so in that case you will see the S9 like this. So right now I'm seeing about the IC standard in another PC. So S9 means commutator switches to reverse the polarity of the main voltage. Okay, so that's why this kind of switching also is including in ST5540. So don't worry.
All right, sure. Thank you. And also just to add on, while we are waiting for questions coming online, just to add on, I think in one of the slides from Sakata-san, he mentioned that during this pandemic, I think take for example some of the patients that actually bedridden probably for some time, unfortunately, and some of them actually will need to depend on ventilators for quite a long time. So remember in one of the slides he mentioned that this is why the medical safety testing is very important, because the patients and healthcare workers will be handling the ventilators for a long time, for a long period of time. It is thus very important to ensure the medical testing, the safety usage of this equipment. It's thus very important that all these equipments undergo stringent tests so that to protect the safety of the patients and the healthcare workers. So we have been talking about this, that the safety testing is very, very important, especially in the medical field. So we really hope that after this session, you will bring this, you will remember this, and we hope that some of the points that I have presented today actually benefits you. All right, so otherwise, I think, okay, let me see. I think we have a few more questions. All right, I think some of the customers are asking about whether we can share the slides. I think we will need to check internally first, because I think some of the slides might contain confidential information. So how about this? Maybe let us discuss internally, and probably if you are interested to get the presentation slides, please write into us, and we will actually handle these inquiries individually. So I repeat again, you can write into for Singapore, so for Southeast Asia, Oceania, and Bangladesh region, you can write into marketing@hioki.com.sg, marketing@hioki.com.sg for any kind of questions, or if you need the slides. For MEA, for India, Deepak, I forgot your email. Can you come online to share with us your email address for them to write into you?
Yeah, my email address is very simple: deepak@hioki.co.in. DEEPAK@hioki.co.in.
Otherwise, maybe Deepak, you can actually type in the chat box to all the participants so that they can write into you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I think MEA, do we have Anu online now?
Yes, Kevin, I'm online here.
Yeah, would you want to share your email to our participants from the MEA region?
Sure. My email address is Anil, ANIL, @hioki.mea.ae. So any queries or anything, you can email to me, and we'll be happy to help you. I'll write it in the chat box as well. Thank you so much, Kevin, and thank you all.
Thank you, Anu. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end of this session. Mr. Sakata and Mr. Satos, any wrapping statement from both of you? Otherwise, I will be calling up Miyazawa-san online soon. Any last statement?
Yeah, it's okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you,
giving this kind
Sakata-san.
of very good opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sato-san. Thank you very much for
thank
sharing
you.
with us. Okay, so with this, ladies and gentlemen, we've now come to the end of the session. Now, this webinar wouldn't be possible without a few people. Miyazawa-san is one of them. In fact, just to share with you, I think I've mentioned earlier, this webinar is a partnership together with Hioki India, Hioki MEA, Hioki EE Corporation, who is also our headquarters, and of course Hioki Singapore. So there are many people involved in this webinar, and thus because of their efforts, we are able to bring this webinar to more than 200 of you online now with us. So with this, it is my pleasure to welcome Hioki Singapore Managing Director, Mr. Seiichi Miyazawa, online to say a few words. Miyazawa-san, please.
Okay. Okay.
You want to on your...
I can do myself.
Okay.
Okay.
Over to you.
Thank you, Kevin. All right. Thank you, Kevin. Hello, everyone. I'm Miyazawa from Singapore. Thank you very much for taking the time to join today. How was today's webinar by our Hioki team? I hope this webinar would be meaningful and helpful for everyone to imagine about safety measurement and the standard also. So as Kevin told earlier, if everyone has any question or request for doing demo and other, please feel free to contact us. Finally, as our CEO Hosoya mentioned earlier, Hioki aims to contribute to the society by our measurement technology and solution. So I'll be very glad if Hioki could help everyone by our activities in the world. Once again, thank you very much today. Please keep safe and stay healthy in Corona pandemic situation. Thank you. That's all from me.
Thank you. Thank you, Miyazawa-san. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we would like to thank you for your active participation for this afternoon, and thank you very much for taking your precious time to join us in this session. Hioki Singapore, and together with our other sisters companies, Hioki India, Hioki MEA, and as well Hioki Corporation, and also other subsidiaries such as Hioki USA, we are doing quite a number of webinars online. So feel free to check out their LinkedIn or their Facebook, and you will be able to find out a series of webinars that will benefit you during this region. So finally, we'd like to thank everyone, and here's wishing everyone to stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you. See you. Bye-bye.